Hi, good morning and welcome to today's class. Today's class is a continuation of our previous classes on SURDS. In today's class, we shall be solving exercises on the addition and subtraction of SURDS. At the last class, I introduced the addition and subtraction involving SURDS, where we said in order for you to be able to add or subtract rational and irrational numbers, for the irrational numbers, which is for SURDS, for you to add and subtract SURDS, you must first of all reduce them to their basic SURD forms. And in one of our previous classes, I did explain to you how to convert from simple SURD forms to basic SURD forms, as well as from basic SURD forms to simple SURD forms. So in today's class, we shall be applying these two principles in simplifying SURDS. So we have some examples on the board. We are asked to simplify the following: root 27 plus root 3. The rule says you should first of all convert them from their simple SURD form to their basic SURD form. Now, root 3 is in its basic SURD form, while root 27 is not in its basic SURD form. Root 3 is said to be in its basic SURD form because root 3 cannot be simplified or expressed as a product of two factors where one is a perfect square. So it is said to be in its simplest SURD form. While root 27 can be simplified. How did I get to know that? 27 can be expressed as a product of two factors where one is a perfect square. So I will simplify root 27. Thereafter, I will add based on like terms, if there is any. So, root 27 can be expressed as root 3 times root 9. I have been able to express it as a product of two factors, then plus root 3. Simplifying this further, we know that root 9, being a perfect square, gives us 3. So this can be said to be 3 root 3. When you multiply root 9 by root 3, for root 9 is 3. Multiplying it by root 3, it gives you 3 root 3 plus root 3. Now, these are said to be similar SURDS. And remember, we said we can either add or subtract similar SURDS. I said it in the last class that for you to be able to add or subtract SURDS, there must be similar SURDS. And these two are said to be similar SURDS. How do I know they are similar SURDS? Because their irrational parts are equal. So adding 3 root 3 plus 1 root 3 gives us 4 root 3. And this is how to add two SURDS together. Don't forget to like this video as well as to subscribe if you are yet to do that. Example 2. Root 8 plus root 18. Both of them can be expressed in their basic SURD forms. And this can be said to be root 8 can be given to be root 2 times root 4 plus root 18 can be expressed as root 2 times root 9. For 2 times 9 will give you 18, while 2 times 4 will give you 8. So we can simplify it that way, where root 4 and root 9 are said to be perfect squares. So simplifying it further, this becomes root 2 times 2 plus root 2 times 3. And if you simplify, this gives us 2 root 2 plus 3 root 2, and when you add 2 root 2 to 3 root 2, because they are similar SURDS, it gives us what? 5 root 2. And that is your answer. Example 3, root 50 minus root 18. I would like you to solve this with me. Okay? Now ask yourself, how can I express root 50 as a product of two factors? 1, if the rational part or the rational number under the square root sign is a prime number, then you cannot simplify it further. But if it is not, then try to see if you can simplify it further. Now, root 50 can be broken down to be root 25 times root 2 minus root 18 can be broken down to be root 9 times root 2. Okay, so simplify it further. Root 25 is said to be 5. This becomes 5 times root 2, because this is already, root 2 is in its basic sort form, so we can't simplify it further, minus root 9 is 3 times root 2. So when you simplify this, this gives us 5 root 2 minus 3 root 2. And since they are like terms, we can subtract one from the other, and this is equivalent to 2 root 2. Now, it is always advisable, just like I said, to leave your answer in their basic SURD form. Example 4, we have root 125 minus root 45. Simplify root 125. Root 125 can be said to be 5 times 25. So this is equivalent to root 25 times root 5 minus root 45 can be expressed as root 9 times root 5. Now, when you simplify, always try to ensure that they are similar. If they are not, if I don't have similar sorts in each of the brackets, then it is not compulsory. I will leave it that way. But ensure, try to see if you can have a common factor that can divide both 125 and 45, or all the terms, as the case may be, maybe 2 or 3. So always do that. And just like I said, try using the prime factors that you know. Okay, 2, 3. If 2 cannot go, you then test with 3. If 3 cannot go, you test with 5. 7, 9 is not. 11, 13, 17, and 23. There are so many of them. Okay, so this is equal to root 25 is said to be 5 times root 5 minus 3 times root 5. So this is equal to 5 root 5 minus 3 root 5. And 5 root 5 minus 3 root 5 gives us 2 root 5 as your answer. Don't forget to like this video, as well as to turn on the notification button when you subscribe, so as to be informed whenever a new video is being uploaded. Question 5. This gives us a 3-term expression that we should add and subtract. Root 45 plus 3 root 20 minus 8 root 5. Now, the higher you go, the tougher it becomes. We started with the simpler ones, and now we are going into the harder ones. So, we'll still follow the same procedure. Simplify each of them to their basic sort forms, and then collect those that are similar. Okay? So, root 45 can be simplified to be root 9 times root 5 plus, I can still break down root 20. So this is said to be 3 into root 4 times root 5. For root 4 times root 5 is still equivalent to root 20 minus root 5 is in its simplest form, so we can't do anything more than that. This gives us root 8 root 5. Simplifying this further, root 9 is 3, so we have 3 root 5 plus 3 times root 4 is 2, that's 2 root 5 minus 8 root 5. Now we have been able to simplify them or express them in their basic sort forms. We have been able to simplify them in their basic sort forms. Now simplify them further and collect like terms. So this becomes 3 root 5 plus 6 root 5 minus 8 root 5. So let's sum before we subtract, obeying BODMAS. So this becomes 9 root 5 minus 8 root 5. Since they are all like terms, so you can carry out the operations of addition and subtraction. 9 root 5 minus 8 root 5 leaves us with root 5, or you call it 1 root 5 as your answer. Question 6. Root 99 minus root 44 plus root 11. Now looking at them, something just came to my mind. They are all multiples of 11, and 11 is a prime number. So I can use, and it is a prime factor to the three terms. So you can express them in terms of root 11. So this can be expressed as root 9 times root 11 minus root 4 times root 11 plus root 11. So they are all in terms of root 11. This gives us 3 root 11. I will be skipping some steps. So 3 root 11 minus 2 root 11 plus 11. Okay? And this gives us 3 root 11 minus 2 root 11 is 1 root 11. And 1 root 11 plus 1 root 11 gives us 2 root 11. Now, in order not to confuse you, we can still follow obey BODMAS, okay, by first of all doing the operations of addition before subtraction. Please note, the sign for 3 root 11 is positive. So this is positive 3 root 11, negative 2 root 11, plus 1 root 11. So in order for me to add, most students are fond of adding this 2 before subtracting this, the answer from this. That is wrong. This is negative 2 root 11. So it is not possible for you to carry out, for you to assume this to be positive and solve. Rather, you rearrange, and this becomes 3 root 11. Bringing the positive forward, it becomes plus root 11 and minus 2 root 11. So you can then add these two before you subtract 2 root 11 from the answer. So this is going to give us 3 root 2 plus 1 root 2 is 4 root 2. And 4 root 2 minus, 4 root 11. This is root 11. So 4 root 11 minus 2 root 11 gives us 2 root 11 as our answer. Question 7. We have 3 root 2 minus 5 root 200 plus 30 root 8. Also, simplify this. Simplify each of the terms. Thereafter, you collect like terms. So this gives us 3 root 2 minus 5 root 200 can be expressed as this. Please, I'm going to be cutting short some of these expressions. This can be said to be 5 times root 200 can be expressed as root 100 times root 2. And root 100 is said to be 10. So this becomes 5 times 10 times root 2 plus 30 into root 8 can be expressed as root 4 times 2 times root 2. For root 4 is 2. So this can be said to be 2 root 2. So when you simplify further, you have 3 root 2 minus 20 root 2 plus 60 root 2. Obeying BODMAS, we carry out the operation of addition before subtraction. This gives us 3 root 2 plus 60 root 2 minus 20 root 2. When you add this, you have 63 root 2 minus 20 root 2, and that gives us 43 root 2 as your answer. Don't forget to like our videos while you watch, as well as subscribe to our channel if you are yet to do that, and on the notification button, so as the notification bell, so as to be informed whenever a new video is being uploaded. 8, we have 4 root 72 plus 2 root 50 minus 3 root 18. So let's simplify them further. This can be said to be 4 times 72 can be said to be 36 times 2. That will be 6 root 2. So this is times 6 root 2 plus 2 times root 50 can be expressed as root 25 times root 2, and that gives us 5 root 2. So this becomes times 5 root 2 minus 3 times root 18 can be expressed as root 9 times root 2, and that becomes what? 3 root 2. So this is 3 root 2. Now you simplify further. This is equal to 24 root 2 plus 10 root 2 minus 9 root 2. If you collect like terms, we have to add before we subtract. So 24 root 2 plus 10 root 2 will give us 34 root 2 minus 9 root 2. And this can be said to be 25 root 2 when you simplify. So I'll be a bit slow in solving this. Okay, so we have root 3 over 1 plus 1 over root 3 minus 1 over 3 root 3. Now, the LCM I said is 3 root 3. Now, divide the new denominator by the old denominator. The answer you get, multiply it by the old numerator, it gives you a new numerator. Okay, so 3 root 3 divided by 1 is 3 root 3, and 3 root 3 times root 3 will give us 3 root 9, which is equals to 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. So this can be, the new numerator is said to be 9 plus 3 root 3 divided by root 3. If you divide 3 root 3 by root 3 will cancel itself. You are left with 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. So this is plus 3. Minus 3 root 3 divided by 3 root 3 is 1, for they will cancel out themselves. 1 times 1 is 1. So this now becomes 3 plus 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. So this gives us 11 divided by 3 root 3. Now, I will leave it at this. But in SURDS or in mathematics, it is not ideal for you to have a denominator which is an irrational number, because it is not easy to divide a rational number by an irrational number. We shall look more on I will do more explanation when it gets to rationalization of denominators, which may come up in our next 2 classes. So for the sake of this particular class, we'll leave it as 11 divided by 3 root 3. Question 13. We are asked to add 3 root 28 plus 4 root 112 minus 5 root 63. So we'll still take the same procedure, reduce each of them to their basic sort forms, and then collect like terms. So this is 3 times, this is 4 times 7, and that gives us 2 root 7 plus 4. If you divide this by 7, 112 divided by 7 is 16. So root 16 is said to be 4. That gives us 4 root 7. So this is times 4 root 7 minus, this is 5 times, this is 9 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63. So that becomes 3 root 7. So when you simplify for that, this is equal to 6 root 7 plus 16 root 7 minus 15 root 7. And this is equal to 6 plus 16 is 22. So we have 22 root 7 minus 15 root 7. And this is equal to 7 root 7. Question 14. We have 2 root 2 plus 25 whole number 3 over root 2 minus 25 whole number 4 over root 8. So what we are going to do is to simplify them to their basic short form. Root 8 is not in its basic short form. I think others are. We are going to simplify them before we work on the fractions. So this is equal to 2 root 2 over 1 plus 25 whole number 3 over root 2 minus 25 whole number 4 over root 8 can be expressed as root 4 times 2. That is 2 root 2. So this gives us 2 root 2. Okay, we have now simplified them to their basic short forms. What we are going to do now is to add all the fractions together. So this becomes, you pick the LCM of the 3 denominators, and the LCM of 1 root 2 and 2 root 2 can be said to be 2 root 2. I'll first of all add up all the whole number parts. Here we have 1 plus 25 minus 25. So 1 plus 25 is 26. 26 minus 25 is 1. So I have one whole number here. And 2 root 2 divided by 1 is 2 root 2. 2 root 2 times 2 root 2 can be said to be 2 root 2 squared. Okay? Then plus 2 root 2 divided by root 2 is said to be 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So this is 6 minus 2 root 2 divided by 2 root 2 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. And when you simplify this further, you have 1. We have 2 root 2. This is 1. And 2 root 2 squared. You square everything in a bracket. This becomes, if you square this square will cancel this square root. And the square of 2 is 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. This gives us 8 plus 6 minus 4. And 8 plus 6 minus 4 is equal to, we have one whole number. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 minus 4 is 10. So we have 10 divided by 2 root 2. And when you simplify this, you discover that 2 into itself is 1. 2 into 10 is 5. This leaves us with one whole number, 5 over root 2. Just like I did in the other example, I'm going to leave this as it is. But subsequently, I will explain to you how you can rationalize the denominator, which we'll do in our next class. Example 15, we have 2 root 18 plus 2 root 54, minus root 108. So this can be simplified to be 2 times root 18 can be said to be root 9 times root 3, and that gives us 3 root 2 plus root 54 can be expressed as root 9 times root 6. That gives us 3 root 6. So we have times 3 root 6 minus root 108 can be expressed as root 36 times 3, and root 36 can be said to be 6. So this becomes minus 6 root 3. Do we have any like terms? No. But I can simplify this to be 2 times 3 is 6 root 2 plus this is 6 root 6 minus 6 root 3. So this is our answer because none of these are like terms and you cannot simplify any further. So this gives us 6 root 2 plus 6 root 3 root 6 minus 6 root 3 as our answer. That brings us to the end of today's class. In today's class, we have been able to solve more exercises on the addition and subtraction involving SURDS. In our next class, we shall be looking at the multiplication of SURDS. Kindly like our videos as you watch. Subscribe if you have not done that, and turn on the notification bell so as to be notified whenever a new class is being held. You are also advised to share the link to your friends and classmates. But before we go, let me give you an assignment. I would like you to simplify the following. This is just to test if you can do some on your own. You have to simplify the following. They are very simple questions. All you need to do is just to simplify them, express them in their basic sort forms, and add or subtract when necessary. Thank you for being a participant in today's class. We hope to see you in our next class and subsequent classes. Thank you and do have a nice day.